Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Louis Knupp. I'm a resident of LaGrange here, and I've got two sons in Locust Grove Elementary, which is in part the reason I'm coming to speak to you all as leaders of the county, as well as to anybody who is a resident of the county listening in today. We love the schools here in Oldham County. We moved here for the schools specifically. Prior to this, we lived in Louisville. We've got a son who was in need of some extra support. The IEP program at Locust Grove has been absolutely amazing, and I couldn't say anything better if I tried about the administration, the staff, and the teachers of Locust Grove Elementary. I never anticipated a need to be concerned about potential opening of the doors of our public schools here in Oldham County to religious instruction, which is an issue I want to raise today. Now, to be clear, there's a Supreme Court decision back in 1952 that says release time instruction is legal in the United States. There's precedent for this, so the argument here today is not whether or not there's legality around this. But what I do want to highlight, and I want to make sure the leadership of this county and the residents of this county are abundantly clear on, is that it is not something that we have to allow, and allowing it is an open choice. And if we do allow it, we are opening ourselves up to being liable to the Establishment and Equal Protection Clauses, because at that point you have to have a non-discriminatory policy in place to allow equal, non-discriminatory acceptance of any religious or moral institution to come in for least time instruction. For folks who are not aware of what I'm talking about, LifeWise came and spoke at a recent school board meeting. This is the first I'd heard of LifeWise. I reached out and tried to do some investigation. And there were definitely some things that were personally concerning to me. Now, I recognize I may be in the minority here in this county on that, which again is why this argument is not necessarily about which religious group comes in to speak at Oldham County Public Schools. But I do want to be incredibly clear that especially from a fiscal responsibility standpoint, we need to make sure that whatever decision the school board and county leadership comes to on this, we are going into with open eyes. I'm personally disappointed that the superintendent wasn't able to make the meeting today. I very much would have liked the opportunity to speak to her in person, and I hope that opportunity comes up at some point in the future and get her comment on this. I have been emailing the superintendent as well as the school board, and unfortunately it's progressed to the point where to get any answers, I now have several pending open records requests. I'm hoping that I will get responses back to those open records requests within the 5 business days allotted by Kentucky law. And I want to again highlight from a fiscal responsibility standpoint to the leadership of this county that open records requests are not something to be taken lightly. I've unfortunately run into a situation on a prior open records request that is now currently pending appeal with the Attorney General of the state of Kentucky. And I'm hopeful that this will not come to that same situation. I just want to wrap up by reminding folks that ultimately the leadership here is in a servant position to the residents of this county. LifeWise managed to collect 200 signatures. We don't know if those signatures were from residents or not in support of the program. There's a competing form out there that has now collected, last I checked, over 700 and has been posted for less than 48 hours against allowing LifeWise or release time instruction to Oldham County Public Schools. Thank you all for the time. Please give this careful consideration, and I've got a feeling that the next school board meeting will have very high attendance from the residents of this county. Thank you.
All right.